Okay guys, I want to show you something here. When you have conifer trees like this, in this case balsam fir, animals love it under there. Less snow, and that's a big feature in the wintertime when you have animals with shorter legs and that. In this case, there's just a lot of squirrels and stuff like that, smaller animals. But that's why they use conifers for deer yards, right? When you have lots of different pines, hemlocks, eastern hemlock, balsam fir, especially when they're close together, and you have lots of them. You'd call that a stand, right? A stand of trees. And that's where you'll find that the deer, especially because they have shorter legs than a moose would, you'll find them all collecting in that area for the winter time, right? But what I wanted to show you here, if I can collect some, is this is maybe a little difficult to do with one hand here. What I'll do is I'll squeeze out some of these blisters, okay, and we'll see how flammable they are for a fire start, okay? So let me get a stick here. Any old stick will do. And let's see if I can hold this a little better. I can always use a little helmet cam on this for this reason here. Let's put it over here. See if this works. Wrap it around this tree branch here. See if that works for us, for our purposes. Put that there. There are these branches. Okay, let me focus that. Okay. Yeah, let's get a little bit of this gum here. This sap here. These blisters all have sap in them. Whatever you do, try not to get that in your eye. See that? All that sap on there. Collect some more if we can. Ah, there's a good one. So you see you have some here, right? Okay, let's try let's take this off the branch, camera off the branch, and move it this way, shall we? Let's take that off. Okay. All right, let's go over here. Let's put it right here. Put it here. And get my lighter. See how well this thing will start sap here. Some of that's the birch bark too, but combination of the two. You can see the birch bark. Birch bark is very black when it burns, right? You see that. So yeah, a combination of the two. It's not going anywhere. Just let that burn out. Lots of uses of birch bark. Nice little fire, huh? So when you go looking for firewood to start your little campfire, it's best to get something that's dry and that has been dead for at least a year. Something that should break very easily without much effort. If it's still green, it'll just bend and it won't break easily. So get your finest twigs first, the smallest ones you can find. In this case it's a white pine. And put them all in the pile. Like I said, put the birch bark at the bottom, or anything else you can use for fuel, whether it's dry grass. Sometimes moss will work, different kinds of moss, like for instance this over here, this moss here. This will work as well. It's a nice little tinder. And then after you got your fine twigs on the ground, get your coarser material, put it on top, a little pile, and just keep going on. The larger pieces of wood. When I build a campfire, usually I only bring a saw with me. I don't usually bring an axe because, you know, unless you're going somewhere for a couple days or more. But for me, there's enough of this material around. Then you can break this up here. If it's dry, it'll break fairly easy. The saw will get the rest. Okay? Just remember, white pine, your pines, spruces, they burn very quickly. Okay? They don't give off the best heat. If you want a really good heat, you got to get your oaks, your maples, all your denser woods, your deciduous trees, your trees that drop their leaves right in the fall time. Those give off the best heat, but then again, they have to be dry, right? Because anything that's wet will bubble and steam, and it just will not give off proper heat, okay? Just remember that. Hey guys, I found something very interesting. As it turns out, if you look down here, right there, we have young deer tracks. Deer tracks followed by, looks like wolf prints. So, it's looking like one is interested in the other. And I can just imagine what that might be. See, this is a little bit of a gully here. That's the good part about it. See over here? We are now in a stand over here, which is predominantly red pine. All the pink bark, that's red pine. Very coarse, large needles on that side. And then he goes down a hill here, down a gully, back up the hill. And in this gully is where we find this game trail. Quite interesting. See, look at that. Now I found lots of tracks today, but they were older. This is a little better. This was right down to that pond over there in the distance. Yeah, I would call that, I think that's a wolf track, I would think. Here, I'll put my hand here for a reference. I think it is. Come through here. The deer tracks look pretty small, so it must be a young one, I would think. I'll get back to you if I find anything else. Look what I found. Isn't that nice? Now look down along the shoreline. Down about there. You follow that around. you'll see tracks. Something's been walking along there. Just behind me here I found some more deer tracks in the snow. There's one right there. See that? Just a little thing. Very small. And there. Young thing. Nice hillside here. Look at that. Snow's gone on this hillside. One thing I failed to mention earlier was also when you're building fires, don't neglect to use these pine cones. If they're dry, use them. Here we got two different kinds. That shorter, rounder one is from a red pine. The longer ones are from an eastern white pine. You can see some, you see the beaver came up this hill. This is an older one. And chewed these stumps here. Let's go look over here, shall we? Probably notice when I'm walking, doing an awful lot of crunching in the snow. So even if I don't talk, animals would probably hear that from a long ways away and take off before I can see them. See, these are all deer tracks here. All these. And there's that outlet there. Well, it's actually an inlet that feeds this pond. This is that same beaver pond I was in earlier that I made a separate video for. More tracks down there. Fall right on the ice. Okay, I'm going to turn around here. Start heading back the other way. Ah, look at that. Woodpecker holes. Oh, look what we got down here. Look at that. The things you find when you go for a walk. Look at that. Huh. Now we can't see what's down below here. Now it looks like it could be a beaver lodge or maybe a beaver cache, one or the other. You'd have to see if there's an entrance at the bottom down there. I'm guessing it's probably more like a small lodge maybe. Now I've seen a lot of caches directly in the water, submerged so they can get to it in the winter. guess what I found? Another example of chaga. I'm going to walk up to it, okay? And let's have a look here. Right here. Right like that. There you go. Nice chunk of chaga. Now the white birch is still alive. Doesn't have a great crown on it by any means, but you just about rip this off with your hand right here. I'll make a mental note of it so I know where it is. I don't need any right now, but it's basically has two parts to it, the black and the brown part of it, which apparently are different minerals in there that are good for you. Like I said, this isn't a great specimen because of the quality of the tree, so I would actually probably pass on this and find better stuff. Anyway, I am east of Black Lake, which is in that direction over there. You see there's a big flat spot down here, which was the black ash that I walk through, and it goes back up the other side of the hill. These are all wetlands down here. And if you look on this side, there's some more bedrock up that way, right up there, all the way around this section. This is an example of a black ash swamp. You'll see how many stems there are. There are a lot of stems in here. It's a nice time to be coming through here because I'm not wading through the water here. It's like a highway walking on flat surface through here. So I'm just swinging around to show you how many trees there are. From what I'm looking at, besides black ash, which is all these stems here, all this is black ash. The spruce over there, looking up, that conifer, swinging around to the bottom of the base of this hill. You see how many rocks there are up there. It's pretty hilly right there, right through there. Crunchy snow, pretty wet packed. 0 degrees Celsius today, which is what, 32 Fahrenheit? I found something different for you. This little bush here, I'm going to try to take some pictures of it. But this is buttonbush. Has a very unique buds on the end of it. Very flexible, this stuff. It's very easy to tie in the knots. Very easy to tie in the knots. Look at that. All this stuff is a clump of buttonbush. All this stuff here. So I give you a better idea what it looks like. All this. See how it grows? It's all buttonbush. All the way around here. Quite a clump of it. Let's go up on top of this hill here. Also, if you look off to the left, way up in the hills there, way through there, way up in the hill, is where the Ganaraska Trail goes through. And it is actually north-south at this point. Let's go up here. That tree there, it's a really nice poplar tree. The crown on that one. Dark day today. Snowing out. A little bit snowing. Gonna venture over there now. I'm going to walk up to these icicles off this rock face here. Grab one. Icicles are a lot better than snow if you need to get some water. They're more dense. Snow, you need a lot of snow. You need a lot of snow to melt to get half a decent quantity of water. But icicles are so much easier to get. Let's go have a look at it so I can show you the scale. Walk over to it. You see how what size they are. Isn't that amazing? What formations they get into when they drip from this rock face. You can see all the different mosses over there as well. Okay, I'm close to the bunkhouse here. Going through the wetlands. The wider part of it. I'll just point out some more of the things that you may be interested in. Here's some more of that nannyberry. It's got long buds on it in the wintertime. It's got opposite arrangement, which means the twigs here are directly across from each other, as compared to this other shrub here, which is considered alternate arrangement, where you have a twig here, a twig there, up, down, not directly across. For the most part, not directly across from each other. Okay. Now, I did come across a bunny back there. I was going to take a picture, but he was hiding. He was a white one, hiding in the swamp. So I couldn't get close enough to him. There again, this isn't frozen through here. I managed to stay dry the first time through here, so hopefully there aren't any really deep puddles. I'll just stop here for a second. We got bunny rabbit tracks going through here. As you can see, they go through there. Actually, there might be more than just the bunny. Looks like there's tracks of other things going through there as well. Maybe in pursuit of each other. Let's go through here. Boy, that's spongy stuff. Just not strong enough to hold me up. Maybe you gotta hold up on those donuts. There again, we got the speckled alder. I've mentioned before that they're nitrogen fixers. These are the catkins. These are called catkins on there. Very common in swamps and wetlands. Here are definite bunny tracks right here. See the four paw prints here? Those are bunny tracks. More here. I definitely have to brush this out. Didn't do it this year. Everything falls in from the edges as soon as you got it done. As you can see, there's some white pine growing in the swamp here too. That one, we had a lot of water, a lot of standing water. More than usual. In which case the pine tree died. They don't like being flooded out too much. Oh, I wanted to show you those snow fleas that I saw earlier. I'll see if they're over here. Like I said, they're only size a little, look like pepper or smaller. Little tiny specks, very small. Lots of them. And you can see them jumping every once in a while. There goes one there. There's some that are jumping. They come in different colors. Sometimes you see them as yellow masses on the snow. But yeah, that's where I usually see them, is on the snow. Harmless little creatures. We put skids down, and there were skids already existing, and I threw a few extras on top. And the water gets too deep, but for the most part, it's easier just to cross at the top end. And there's the bunkhouse.